So, I just made a really short video because I said, someone just came in. And I actually just thought of something that we all need to think about. And it is be flexible with your communication, because she doesn't speak English. And yo hablarse un poco de español. And that means I speak a little Spanish. But most of the time I'm having to tell them, no entiendo tu hablarse muy rápido, pero yo no entiendo. Meaning, I don't understand because you talk so fast that I can't understand you. But the thing is, we can get through conversations, and we have to sometimes pull out a translator. But for me, I feel like I talk goo goo gaga, that baby talk, because I didn't teach myself enough Spanish. I did teach myself when we lived in South America for a year. So I would know what I was ordering. I would know how to ask the taxi to take me somewhere, how to just learn different things and kind of respect the culture that I was within, instead of constantly being lost and confused and allowing myself to basically be ripped off because I was ignorant to the language. So my whole point in all this is, like I said, be flexible with your communication. And a lot of times we all speak the same language and we still don't understand each other. People take offense so quick to something that's said to them. But if you can understand that somebody is saying how they feel about themselves to you rather than they're defining you, they might even say, oh, you do this or you do that. If you take a step back and evaluate what they're saying to you, you'll actually find that they're talking more about themselves. So don't take everything to heart. Don't take everything as set in stone from what somebody's telling you. And also, when it comes to communication, a lot of people will tell you what you want to hear simply to get what they want. And as a young female, I learned that at a very early age. A lot of boys would say, I love you, just to try to go further with you. And it's sad that that's how the world works, that people will basically lie straight to your face. So you have to be discerning and also be open and flexible. Listen to understand, not to respond. Because a lot of times you can get in arguments because people are coming at you out of anger, hurt. You've kind of struck their ego. So if you notice when you say something and you don't mean anything by it, maybe you're just joking, you can still pick at somebody who has a guilty conscience, right? So when this person has that guilty conscience, this is where they're going to lash back and they're going to say hurtful things to you. So if you don't know yourself, if you don't stand confidently in who you are, that poke back can bring you to tears, can leave you standing just, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that to me, piss you off. I mean, just turn your whole day around because you're putting so much value on what they're saying to you. But if you can understand what they're saying to you, doesn't matter. And it's just like in a lot of readings that I listen to, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Just leave it with them. Because it's so simple that you don't have to always feel attacked. You don't always have to feel like everyone's out to get you, because I remember living that way in my life. That basically my sisters, my aunt, pretty much everybody I knew talked about how soft I was and how gullible I was and just all these neggy Nelly kind of things to me. And they were offensive to me when I was young. Now I'm just like, I'm whatever you want me to be. I don't care. It's your opinion. Your opinion's not going to affect me, because ultimately my truth is my fact, right? It's my life. So you're allowed to have whatever opinion you want. I'm not here to stop anybody from their opinions, nor am I here to judge you. So even when you come to me and you tell me how you're feeling about yourself, but you're projecting it onto me, doesn't mean it's going to affect me, because that's where you put on that shield. That's where you put on that spiritual armor that says, I can sympathize with you. I can understand how you feel about yourself, but you're not going to share that burden with me, because ultimately you are responsible for yourself, right? Even as an adult, you take on more responsibility with your household, your children, your jobs, whatever it is that you do. You pick and choose your level of being responsible. Some people push all that to the side and say, hey, you're going to have to be subjected to life at some point. Go do it now. I know you're only 2, but yeah, pick whatever you want to drink. Pick whatever you want to eat. It's all a party. Have fun. And it's to a point where we're not raising our children up to be discerning and understanding of themselves, rather than we're raising them up to start being gimme, gimme, gimme. And then the people that are gimme, gimme, gimme are the pokers and the provokers. So if you can get outside of the poking and provoking and no longer take place in the game, you have empowered yourself. So like I said, remember, people are going to come at you a lot. Who cares? Just ain't mine. Take it back. Give it back. And I'm not saying give them back the same attitude. I'm saying deflect what they're saying to you by not absorbing it and allowing it to mess with your brain. Because your brain is the one thing that can destroy you, right? Your brain is the one thing that can make you feel like you're incapable, make you feel powerless, make you feel all these emotions. It can convince you you're in love when you're actually being abused. My brain did that for a while. And that was the rewiring of the trauma bonding and the fear and the accepting of toxic behavior from everyone around me, because I didn't have the nerve to stand up and say, hey, you're not going to treat me like this. Now that I've gotten older, go somewhere else with that. And I've had to learn to speak up and be assertive. Of course, I still try to do this in a loving manner, because I'm still not trying to be the person that's going to hurt anybody. But when it comes down to a life lesson, I'd rather help you learn it than you keep teaching me the same life lesson. My life lessons have been get a backbone, stand up for yourself, have some pride in yourself, believe in yourself, have the courage to do something outside of the box. So where I've had to learn to do this, other people need to learn to kind of scale it back and stop being so jerky. Stop thinking that the world revolves around you. Because yes, it is your world, but you're still a part of a collective, which is a huge world. And in that collective, it's not simply humans. We're not the only thing that exists on this planet. And we have to have a symbiotic relationship, meaning that we have to work together. If we don't work together, then we're killing off that which we need to survive and thrive on, right? On the backside, then we're manufacturing things that we can't process, so we're killing ourselves. So there's this imbalance between what we think we deserve, what we're willing to give. The communication is everywhere, and people get offended so easily today. I mean, I remember in the 90s, we could joke, and we could joke harshly and actually get a laugh out of it and be like, whatever. I mean, I remember a few times where friends and I, we joked a little too much. We butted heads, and it was, I'm not talking to you. And we didn't talk for a day or two. But we got over it, right? We got stronger. We started realizing each other's boundaries. But as we've gotten older, it's almost like the ability to joke and laugh has died off because people have become so serious. And I'd heard a line on a song a minute ago. It was the Me, Myself, and I don't remember the artist's name. I think it's Bebe Rexha. But it's my heart has gotten so cold that it can't be broken. And that's where a lot of people stand in this world. Instead of being vulnerable, they're so protective of themselves to go, you're not going to hurt me. But what's it gonna change for you? Sometimes hurt can teach you. And I'm not talking take the physical abuse, the mental abuse, things like that. Maybe take the joke that hurts your feelings and consider how it doesn't even apply to who you are. Then you can laugh about it. Be the clown. Who cares? You know, I do things on a regular basis that everyone thinks I'm crazy. There's one housekeeper at the other hotel that's constantly going, you're crazy. And I'm like, yep. The world is too full of people that are lying and posing as if they're perfectly sane in an insane world. I'm just honest. And also keep a level of crazy under your hat and people will never know what you're doing. So they kind of stand back and they watch you rather than poke and provoke. because what will she do? I mean, I'm not going to come running at you with a knife, but I might fly off with daggers of how dare you, who do you think you are if you cross a line with me? Because one thing I've tried to teach anybody that knows me, you don't have to like me, but you will respect me. And at the same time, you better come at me straight or I'll come at you sideways. I can be the sweetest person in the world, but I can also stand up for myself. So you pick and choose who you're going to meet by the level of how you're going to treat me, because that does directly correlate to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, if you bring me to a lower level where I have to push back, poke and provoke, and no, you won't be near me very long, because my energy is a gift. The way that I carry myself, being around me is a privilege, because I am loving. I am compassionate. Not to be arrogant, but I give great advice. So when it comes down to who I am, it's almost like you have to, I won't say fit in, but you've got to have a higher vibration that can reciprocate back and forth. And if you're not willing to, if you want to just draw off of me, there's the door, shoo shoo, bye-bye. And a lot of us, all of us, need to learn to stand within that power. And it took me being alone for a while. It took me beating myself up. And like I said earlier, I listened to a lot of Eckhart Tolle at that time to kind of help me start understanding the way my brain works, how life was, someone else's perspective. And also another great spiritual leader was Sadhguru, who these individuals helped me on a scale that allowed me to open up. And then as I progressed through that, I found Abraham Hicks and other individuals that have great guidance that is basically before this time. But honestly, it comes from a past time that brings the information forward for us to start healing and understanding. So when we can get to a point of healing and understanding, we can expand on a personal level, which allows us to expand on a communal level, which then will lead into a universal level. Because we are so constrained right now. Because if you look at that negative energy, it wants to bind and seclude and kind of press you in. Whereas you have that energy that's more bubbly, you're more open to laughter and learning from your non-successes. So instead of beating yourself up, just try to remember, what is it I started with? Being flexible in your communication. Because you can either beat yourself down, wondering what everybody is saying about you, or you can go, anyways. Because people will talk all day long. Do you want to let it affect you, or do you want to move on with your life and start listening to who they are telling you they truly are? Which, that's another video. So for now, I'm going to say bon voyage and peace, love, and light. Talk to you later. Bye.